These are my 5 problems with OpenAI O1. It's not just they're entitled and they expect us to be thankful for the magic intelligence that they've given, even though that they promised the voice mode would come before. It's not just that. I've got 5 different problems with this new model launch. I would like to share with you so that you can reflect on that. First of all, this blog post in which they announced this model that says learning to reason with LLMs talk about a lot of different things except what is a reasoning. I mean, there is a huge argument or discussion online about what is AGI. Everybody has got their own definition of AGI. For example, Google DeepMind has got its level 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. OpenAI has got its own AGI charter, and this blog post, even though it talks about learning to reason, doesn't explicitly mention what do they mean by reasoning, except that they say that okay, this is a model that can do reasoning, one thinks before it answers, and a bunch of other marketing terms rather than going into technical details. Now you might argue and then tell me that hey, this is not a technical report, this is a blog post that is meant for people to read and understand. But in the same blog post, they get into a lot of interesting detailed information. For example, they label GPQA, which has been used quite widely across the industry, as a PhD level science question. Now, everybody's been saying that, oh, you have got a PhD level knowledge inside your pocket. So, this is kind of misleading at this point. But, anyways, let's move on to the next one. The next one is something that it's my opinion, but also felt that Clem, who is the CEO of Hugging Face, has articulated really well. This is the statement. Once again, an AI system is not thinking, it is processing, it is running predictions, just like Google or computers do. Giving the false impression that the technology systems are human is just a cheap snake oil and marketing to fool you into thinking it's more clever than it is. This is absolutely true, and 100% I agree with Clem. In fact, this is one of the points that I wanted to bring out to say that OpenAI, in fact, when you use OpenAI O1 preview on ChatGPT Plus, it actually says that it is thinking and it has thought through it. I think this is highly misleading. One, it is leading to anthropomorphization of the AI, which is not true. We have not got an AI at this point that is truly capable of being anthropomorphized. Second, it is not thinking. It is sending a bunch of chain of thought responses, and it is trying to make like a sequential prediction. It's almost like a glorified chain of thought plus mixture of agents, rather than saying something radical has happened. This is also very interesting when you couple this with that statement, that you can feel that it is almost that there is a plateau in terms of model architecture and what you can do with the base model, and every improvement that you're discussing today with the everybody's been talking about the magical OpenAI O1 is built on top of it. It's not like something that has changed to the core, rather it is all improvement, augmentation on top of it. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. The next one is quite funny. Not a lot of people are talking about OpenAI O1 preview, the current best model, which is like the preview of the best model that they've trained, is completely ridiculously expensive. It's expensive, insanely expensive. So the input token is going to cost you $15 per million, and the output token is going to cost you $60 per million tokens. So now to put this into perspective, the previous best model GPT-4o takes about, for 1 million input, so it is $5, and for 1 million output it is $15. So you can compare the difference, and further they have further you can see that the best model that they've got is this. And in fact, the latest version, the very latest version of GPT-4o has got further a rate cut. It's $2.5 per 1 million token and $10 per 1 million output token. Now when you see this is almost like 5 times more than that. And this is not only that it is more expensive, it is also going to cost you more tokens. Why? So the OpenAI, as you know, that it uses a bunch of things. There is input token that you give, there is reasoning that the algorithm or the model generates, and there is output token. Now this reasoning and then the output token goes as an input token for the next iteration. So according to OpenAI, while reasoning tokens are not visible via API, they still occupy space in the model context window, and they are billed as output token. What do they mean by that? They say that the $60 per million token that you are going to be billed for, the out of that 1 million, whatever that base value is, you are going to also have the out of that 1 million, whatever that base value is, you are going to also have the reasoning token that gets generated. So now, one, you do not have exact control over how you want the reasoning token to be generated, because in its current form, a lot of these hyper parameters that are used for this large language models are locked, which I can understand that they want people to not abuse it, they don't want people to use it extensively. But the worst part here is that you don't have control over what is the reasoning it going to be. And second, there is not a lot of information about what kind of use cases this model is going to reason how. For example, you do not know whether you have 1 minute question or 10-minute question. Like, that difference is not there yet. So you are going to be billed extensively for whatever that knowledge model is generating, not necessarily only for the exact output that you are interested in. Now, the bigger problem here is that if you are a developer that you want to use OpenAI O1 as part of your application, it's not easily possible. You have to be at their most expensive, the highest tier of users. For example, they've got multiple tiers: free, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and tier 5. OpenAI O1 preview is right now available only for the tier 5 users. So you have to at least have paid $1,000 per month, and you have to have the usage limit of $50,000 per month for you to have this access. So that means if you were planning to use this as part of your own app or whatever it is, then you wouldn't be able to use it. I mean, for this pricing, I don't think anybody is willing to use it at this point. But even if you want to access the model, just like literally access the model through API, not just through ChatGPT Plus, then you should be on tier 5 for you be able to use this model. I think this is another big problem, because OpenAI is trying to create that exclusive club of users who can access this model. I know they're trying to manage workload and all those things, but again, it feels a little odd. And finally, you might find it odd. You might, I'm not sure what you think about it. Let me know what you think about this particular point. If you happen to try to circumvent the OpenAI's guardrails, like for example, a lot of people, for the fun of it, try to do different prompt engineering techniques to get something out of this model. I've tried it. Probably you have tried it. A lot of people try this. This is part of the fun. This is part of why you pay the $20 for. So you try to do different things with the model that is not particularly documented. Now, OpenAI has started reaching out to people, blocking their access account, because their systems have flagged these users to say that, okay, you are in violation of the policy against attempting to circumvent safeguards or safety mitigations in the services. Now, I've got a bigger problem with what you call as safety, but I understand, sometimes kids use this, you need to have this safety mechanisms. So I completely agree with you. But now when somebody is trying to circumvent it or use it, they're not trying to steal your data. It's not connected to their RDBMS system where you're trying to understand what is the salary of Sam Altman. You're not trying to figure out anything. It's just a fun activity. This is what increased the knowledge about LLMs. Like back in the day, we all use prompt engineering to figure out how to instruct, fine-tune a model, how to chat with a model that was a base model. A lot of different things that we figured out through this. Now OpenAI is saying that you cannot do this. In fact, this is the most aggressive uses the action that I've seen. Like I've seen Anthropic doing something like this. Now OpenAI has taken this to next level, reaching out to users to say that they have been flagged for trying to do certain things that they are not supposed to do. I don't have exact information of what this particular user has done, but the user is saying that the email sends you if you ask O1 about its reasoning too many times. So I'm not sure if this is exactly true, but the fact that OpenAI is trying to boss you is itself is ridiculous. Now you might argue that, hey, it's their model, they can do anything, but this is for people who have paid $20 per month. This is almost like you buy a game with PlayStation and the PlayStation makes you not use the game. I mean, this is a broader problem in nature, but overall, I feel that this release about OpenAI O1 is more hype than technology. I mean, a lot of people find it valuable. People are using it to count alphabets and lot of different things. But a lot of this is also hype driven. I might make more videos about OpenAI O1. I'm not hating this model, but I think these are the problems that I have got with this model, especially starting with reasoning and thinking and the pricing and rate limits and the account exclusivity and the kind of action people going off OpenAI going after people. I don't know. I don't think this is healthy for the ecosystem. Let me know in the comment section what you feel about it. OpenAI has already made it explicit that they are not going to explicitly share what the model's chain of thought is, because they want to have the competitive advantage. This also shows that it is possible for somebody to easily replicate it, rather than what it might have been previously impossible. So I'm definitely looking forward to see open source solution, other providers chasing OpenAI with this particular thing. But otherwise, see you in another video. Happy prompting.